To all guardians out there and wielders of the light and darkness, Lightfall is almost upon us, and man, we just got a great new look at some new exotic weapons and armor, and it's looking pretty sweet. Bungie just gave us a ton when it comes to the gear that we're gonna see, a little bit of a teaser to some of the lore that we might uncover throughout Lightfall, and some sick new screenshots and updates on different aspects of the Strand. Welcome everybody to the Lumberzak Gaming channel, your place for friendly, quality gaming content. That's right, Destiny 2 has just given us a brand new trailer with all this gear, so we are going to be jumping in, dissecting this trailer, looking at all the new weapons, all the new armor, get teased a little bit about, you know, maybe the upcoming raid and story that we're going to experience in Lightfall. All of that here, so make sure to stick around to the end. Let's not waste any more time and dive right on into it. Right out of the gate, they are just hitting us with these 3 decked out classes, the Hunter, the Warlock, and the Titan, all decked out in their Neomuna gear. Guys, these trailers, I just gotta say, are so well done. This 80s synthwave vibe, I'm just totally here for it. These almost side shots kind of reminds me of the old Apple commercials of all the new weapons firing off. And they don't really waste any time as they dive right on into the first weapon that we get a chance to look at, which is the Final Warning. This is a brand new Strand sidearm that shoots tracking rounds that seek out nearby enemies. Now, if you look closely, obviously it's kind of charging up in the spool there, but this thing, it kind of reminds me of the Osteostriga, has these tracing rounds that just kind of splinter out at the different enemies, and then it hits them with that Strand debuff. You can kind of see it as it's consuming these Vex here. So if you're a fan of sidearms and not actually having to aim, this might be the one for you. Now, right along next, we just see our Warlock running right in with what they call the Deterministic Chaos, which has rhythmic debuffs. Now, this is a void heavy machine gun, and man, this thing could do a lot of damage, especially if you pair it well, because the 4th shot weakens enemies. It's that weaken debuff. But then as you continue to shoot it, you'll see that the 16th shot makes enemies volatile, and you can see the aftermath here of that volatility that just clears out this wave of Vex. Now, a lot of people are saying that this weapon could pair really well with the Collective Obligation, which is a pulse rifle that you get from doing the Vow of the Disciple raid, and has a lot of really cool features, but one of the biggest one is known as Void Leech. Void Leech is an ability that leeches void debuffs when damaging targets that are suppressed, weakened, or volatile. Once charged, you hold your reload to swap firing modes, and in this mode, damage from this weapon applies to the same void debuffs that were leeched. So if you're running some sort of duos, I mean, you could just tear right through these guys using that void, weaken, and volatility, and then leeching it off and just doing a massive amount of damage. I definitely won't be surprised if we see these two pairing well together in some Grandmasters and raids. One of the next ones we see is as the Hunter is just flying on in there. This one, I did have to look up the pronunciation. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's called Certarachne's Facade, and man, it just looks kind of menacing, I'm gonna be honest with you. But if you go back a little bit, you can see there that when the Hunter grapples with this armor equipped, it gives him a woven mail. That's kind of why he's glowing there. And this is going to provide a decent amount of flinch resistance. Now, if there's one thing that I hate is flinch, because I feel like sometimes Destiny overdoes it with the amount of flinch that you get when somebody shoots at you. But hey, if you're a Hunter, good job. You finally have something that can maybe reduce that flinch for you a little bit. Now, the woven mail is a pretty cool effect. However, it's basically going to give your enemy a way that you are going to be flinching a lot less. So, you know, I don't know if that's a way to balance it out or not, but it is worth noting that this happens only after you grapple. So we're not actually sure yet the length of time that that flinch resistance stays around for, but I feel like it would have to be a pretty decent amount to really make that exotic worth it. Then, of course, we see the Titan rushing on into the action against the Shadow Legion here with the new legs, the Abeyant Leap. Now, these are pretty cool, and as a Titan main, I'm pretty excited to get my hands on these because when you put up a barricade, it will spawn additional lashes. Now, they use the word lashes in this trailer without ever having given us previous knowledge of what a lash is, but if you see, when he puts up his barricade, you see 3 of these strand waves just shoot out from the barricade. Now, I would assume that without these exotics, you're going to be shooting out probably 1 straightforward, but with the exotic, it shoots out 3. The question is, what does this do exactly? Well, if you take a good look here, this strand ability is going to suspend people in the air. It seems like this is kind of a common theme with the strand effect. So these Abeyant Leap leggings are pretty freaking nasty. If it's going to be suspending all of your enemies, one of the first questions that I've got to ask is, how annoying is this going to be in Crucible? Is this going to be the next frozen stasis thing? Because honestly, in Crucible, that's like my least favorite thing, is getting frozen. It's probably the most frustrating part about PvP, but I can see how this could be a little less annoying if it just suspends you in the air, but you're still able to shoot. However, I imagine that these additional lashes that are going to be coming out are going to be pretty nasty, especially in PvE. We get a little bit further look at the Quicksilver Storm, which is a pre-order bonus for Lightfall that is available now, but specifically we get a look at the Quicksilver Storm Catalyst. The Catalyst is going to transform the energy type for this weapon into strand energy, and grenade kills from this weapon are going to create tangles that can be thrown at enemies. We haven't seen that yet either, these tangles. But as you shoot these grenades at the enemies and they die, they create what are known as tangles that kind of float there in the air, and people can go and pick those up and throw them at enemies, doing what seems like a lot of explosive damage there. So you've got these lashes that are being thrown out from the Titan's barricades. You've got these tangles that are being created by the Quicksilver Storm Catalyst. And next we get a good look at the new Warlock exotics, the Swarmers, which again, adding another term here, because when you destroy tangles, the things we just talked about, they spawn threadlings, which are going to be part of the Warlock's Brood Weaver subclass. When you destroy these tangles, these little creatures spawn out and they heat seek down to enemies, doing some strand damage to them. Personally, I really like the concept of these threadlings in this Brood Weaver subclass for the Warlock. It also just seems like there could be a lot more synchronizing between the types of weapons and damage that you're doing together, which I'm definitely all about. Now, for fans of the glaives, which I'm gonna be honest, guys, I've been sleeping on the glaives for a while now, but I just started really getting into them. We have the Winter Bite, which freezes enemies with frost orbs. So with the glaive, you'll be able to shoot out these like moving stasis balls that freeze enemies on impact and can leave them open up to a follow-up attack. I really just want to like throw one of these at somebody, like a freaking Triton. I just think that would be pretty awesome. Now, one of the things that we want to point out there is that there's like this tapestry in the back of this area that is painting a pretty decent sized picture. And a lot of people are really trying to figure this thing out because it seems like there's like 4 kids and like a mother. But the interesting thing too is that these kids all have these covered eyes, which seems to be, I don't know, kind of the theme for the armor, especially the helmets that we're wearing in Neomuna, all kind of being cradled. But then if you look in the background, you can clearly see the Traveler above them. It seems like a lot of people are trying to speculate just exactly like what could this be about. If you guys have any theories about the artwork that's in the background here, let me know in the comments what you're thinking. We also got some more information about what the new raid could possibly be with an update to the website for Destiny 2. And the description reads, ferried from an unknown time and place, a haunting presence has been detected. We must now confront the ancient threat growing at our doorstep. It seems like a lot of people are speculating that we are finally going inside of the Vex network, maybe being able to figure out what the Vex have to do like with any of this, how they fit in at all with all of this. A lot of people seem disappointed because they thought that we might be going to be visiting the Traveler for the first time. Unfortunately, it does not seem like we have any kind of confirmation for that yet, but I myself will be really excited the day that I can go visit the Traveler. Guys, out of all these new pieces of armor for Lightfall, let me know in the comments which one is your favorite. Personally, that Abeyant Leap for the Titan looks pretty sick to me. I'm definitely going to be using that as soon as I get my hands on it. Here at the Lumberjack Gaming channel, we are all about building a positive community of gamers that just want to share the passion of gaming together, uplift each other. If that sounds like something that you want to be a part of, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Guys, make sure to stick around on the channel for more Destiny 2 news and all things gaming. And if you still can't wait for Lightfall, check out this video over here, and I'll see you in the next one.